Hey guys, it's Jet888 here. I'm going to try to make a quick video. I always say that. It is September 2nd, and this is a map here of Maui, and I'm just going to share a couple little weird, odd, and things that I have found regarding this. But look, they already have this, they already have the burn area being shown overhead. Here's where they've changed the terrain, but when we come in here, I just wanted to mention a couple things. But anyhow, they've got the burn area that they're showing. So Mill Street, and I know Mill Street eventually gets on to the front street, which everyone talks about. This is where that banyan tree was, around here somewhere. But I think that over here is where, here's your front street, where those police were keeping people from being able to get away. That was criminal. But it's interesting to me that Google Maps already has this burn map going on. Kind of interesting. Huh, look at that. Okay, now I know I'm really jumping, but look at this, the tabernacle, because I was looking at the Bible, and I was seeing something kind of interesting that I was looking at. In the Bible, it talks about Samuel and the tabernacle, and just looking at the structure, this was kind of weird to me, because do you see this structure right here? That's for burnt offerings. And notice the fencing. This was a video of one of the locals that that $3 million fence that was at FEMA that put up. I just thought it was kind of interesting. And it talks about perhaps the ongoing excavations. In the period of Samuel, that's 23:3. Remember the whole red flag, 23:3. And this says Doegs. Is that how you say it? Doegs? I don't know. Doegs. Murderous villainy. And it said the leader, however, replied, "You shall die, Achimelech, you and all your father's family." So I think that that's a kind of a weird thing, because they sure wiped out a lot of families, entire families in Maui. Said he also assailed Nob. Nob is the town, and if you turn Nob around, it's Bon, as in bonfire. But they're talking about all the children and infants being massacred. And it also talked about God has betrayed him into my power, for he is prevented by doors and bars from leaving the town. And all those people that were massacred, they couldn't leave either, because of the gates were being locked and they were being held up by the police. And it also says, then David stayed in the dens of the desert and occupied a hill in the desert. And this was part of that map that they're talking about. There's Nob, Mount of Olives. And that Mount of Olives is only 12 miles from Jerusalem, this state or city that Trump made the capital of Israel. Or he acknowledged it to be a capital. But here's the word bonfire, as in knob, just backwards, knob and bon. And bonfire in French is feu de camp, which is campfire, which is the same kind of, they call it the campfire in paradise. Remember that? But anyhow, it talks about a bonfire, large and controlled. A controlled outdoor fire used either for informal disposal of burnable waste material or part of a celebration. And again, here at this tabernacle, this is the offering. This is where they put their burnt offerings. It also talks about the tabernacle, of how much gold. It's like super, everything was covered by gold. There's your golden lampstand. And here's Trump's pretty golden towers here. Trump Towers with the 2 columns in the background. Here's Trump's gold apartment. Here's the map of the tabernacle, talking about the golden candlestick, and here the altar of burnt offerings right here, which ends up being right here. So I think they had plenty of burnt offerings at Maui, don't you think? But yet they're trying to cover it up. Here's how long it is. It seems like it goes forever as they cover up what's inside there. And there's that vehicle on the overlook that didn't have anything to burn, no fuel to burn it, but it's burnt like a microwave. And all these fire events, from Paradise to all these other ones in Northern California, they all have that same white ash look with the trees staying alive and the trees being burnt from the inside. Okay, so this is weird, I thought. Psalms here, 19 and number 4, it says, their line is gone out through all the earth. That's kind of what I thought about when I thought about that. Their line. And then it says, and their words to the end of the world, in them hath he set tabernacle for the sun. So I looked at the word tabernacle, and you know how I'm always finding like carnivorous things and food related things. When I looked at the word tabernacle, and it's carne table, and carne means meat table or meta table. Here's some gematria words that kind of match with tabernacle. It's the light. Lesbians, and the thing about the lesbians is there's a woman, her name is something Moore. Hang on, let me get her name. So there's an article going out about Melissa J. Moore being arrested. So it's many places are covering this. And she is the one that created the Moderna clot shot. This came out August 30th, 2023. And again, who really knows that this story is true? I tried to find an arrest record, but I couldn't. But the thing is I'll leave this story in the description, the link. She is married to Janet Kosloff, a retired CEO and entrepreneur in the life science market research sector. They have 3 children. So the National Academy of Science retrieved November 2nd, 2021, the science behind the vaccine. That's Janet, and here is her primary organization is Via Scientific, Inc. I guess they help scientists and bioinformaticians generate novel science that improves the world, from Cambridge. Anyhow, this is their pay. Almost looks like brain mapping kind of thing. So Science Accelerated. Yeah, get your products out really quickly so we can make a profit at everyone else's expense. That's probably why Janet's being arrested. Not Janet, her wife. This one. So how mRNA medicine will change the world. It does change it. Doesn't say for the better or not. But the word tabernacle and scientia are some of the same numerology. Actually, just one off there. There's that. So we also have the Bible, the knob in the Bible, and we also have Nob Hill, which is in San Francisco, and we know what's going on there, don't we? This is in the whole Nob Hill area in San Francisco. And here's Nob Hill Hotel. You got your Bush Street. You got your Pine Street. You got your SF, San Francisco Masonic Auditorium. And you got your Clay Street, like clay, like all the people are made from clay. At least in the Bible, that's what they say. So Nob was a priestly town in ancient Israel in the vicinity of Jerusalem. And I just, sometimes when I think of Jerusalem, I think of Trump, because he literally gave them permission. I don't even know what that was about, but he gave them permission or something. He acknowledged that they wanted to make the capital Jerusalem. The town is modestly known as the site of a massacre described in the Bible, where the town's Hebrew priests are massacred by Doeg. That could be God, an Edomite who acted on orders from King Saul. Okay, so anyhow. So I saw this interview lately that Trump was doing, and I see this horse in the background, and I'm telling you, every time I look at Netflix now, I see a horse, a picture, a horse statue, something with the horse. Here's the numerology. But horse is Messiah, which is also proclamation, which is what they were saying, that they've got a proclamation in Maui that you can't be in certain areas. There's pink tie. We've seen a lot of pink ties. Here's your pink ties from Trump. It's also pandemic, Kansas, and boring, as in the Boring Company. And there's the circle. Remember the circle of fire? Remember that? The ring of fire, Maui. It's interesting to me that they try to chalk this big fire up that melted metal to climate change. But when I look at the anagram, look what I came up with. Technical game. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're playing a technical game, and they're doing a little word salad with us. And remember in John 1:1, it's the word was God, so they're acting like they're gods. And why on that, the God subject, whoops, hang on. There we go. Holy Bible by Biohell, like what we've been dealing with the last 3 years and what they're trying to set us up to look forward to coming soon. I mean, give me a break. Oh, there's going to be another pandemic. Give me a break. Arrest these people. They're corrupt. They're tyrants. They're criminals. But they're creating it. They are creating the biohell. Okay, and so while we're on the topic of fire circles or fire rings, the circle of fire. Okay, just look at this here. This is the Boring Company, best video game ever. And they're showing some kid in some console, whatever, holding. This was September 8th, 2018. See the circle? See the worker inside there? Got that? Got that picture there? This is the Boring Company. Shows the way for Oahu rail. Now right here is the red hill. See this red hill? This is in Honolulu. I think it's interesting, these the numerology of these highways and stuff. And if you go up here, it's their street, the highway is 99, 93, like Thelema. That tunnel there is talking about the cost to build each of Oahu's rail. 20-minute tunnels would be 200 million. I mean, they're talking about transits and infrastructure and tunneling. There's that little map again of Honolulu. See the Lockheed Martin? And that red hill by Pearl Harbor. This is where they stored all the underground tunnels, the underground fuel. And that the anagram for red hill is ill heard, as in sick people. But back to the Boring Company. And you know what this is? This is Red Hill. It's the underground tunnels by the United States Navy. So here's a side by side. Here's the Red Hill tunnels that they stored fuel in. And here is the little Boring Company best video game ever. Look, there's a worker inside both with a little white helmet. You got your round little ring. Ring of what? I just find that it's just sort of interesting. This basically says the facility was decommissioned in the 1990s and is now considered to be one of Hawaii's greatest engineering feats, placed alongside the Hoover Dam, the Eiffel Tower, Panama Canal as an important historical landmark, but yet very few people actually know much about the secret facility. Look at this, Summit Maui, Red Hill, a trip to Heleka, whatever Maui's highest peak, is most definitely a bucket list adventure, blah, blah, blah. But these are images. What I was showing you, that's in Honolulu, the Red Hill that they have. But there's a Red Hill tunnels also in Maui. I guess. So when they don't know where those 2,000 children went, I wonder where they went. So this little video by the Boring Company was done September 8th, 2018, making it look like a video game. Now the days between the August 8th fire in 2023 and the day that this was posted, it is 4 years and 11 months. And 411, the numerology is dark matter, bloodstone, assassin, storm god, the flaming ones, Christmas, and human brain, which he's kind of obsessed with human brains. Elon Musk is, and that's his Boring Company. And regarding the flaming ones, I mean, what can you say? This is his thing, and I'll show you later how it says burnt hair, which I think is really interesting. But this is his flamethrower. I don't know what that has to do with tunneling, but this is his, the Boring Company. And here's the Boring Company, the future. That could be anywhere. And he says here, a revolution in transport and tunneling, what he refers to as soul-destroying traffic. So here we're looking at Maui from above, and this is Front Street right along here. And they've put the fence up here somewhere, but see how they've blocked this? Like you can't really tell what it is, but look at this. Ah, looks like someone left the lid off of something. It looks like the top is left off. Now I did go and look from a different perspective, from a side perspective at this, thinking that, oh, maybe it's just a really tall structure. But I went and looked, and it is not a high profile. So I'm going to go look at these neighborhoods, and you'll see they're blocked off. That's why those sugarcane, the people couldn't get out. But look at, I'll go look from these streets, and you'll see this is not a high, tall profile object. So first I'll try to drop this person here. Look at that. Keep out. So there's the road that goes up to it. And do you see how, sorry about I always apologize about my camera work. But that is not a high profile. Look, it's very low profile actually. Okay, now I'm going to go to this street right here. Drop that. And then look, if we, let me zoom in. So, see, look at that. Look how low that is. But yet it's casting such a weird shadow. These houses are burnt now, by the way. So we were right there. We're going to go through the field here. And let me zoom in a little bit. I just find that very strange. And here it is again. I'm going to try to zoom in on it right here. Not a tall structure. I mean, if it looks that big from this far away, that's pretty big. And there it is again, right here. Low profile. I mean, just look at that water tank right there. Look how high that is. Of course it's closer, but... And here's that fence. It looks like, you know, they really were making fence lines. Now this is August 2009. Here's a lot of those rocks they use to block people, but they're making these fences so people couldn't get out of this area. That's the sugarcane, the old sugarcane fields that they stopped growing sugarcane, and then they started kind of eroding But what is this picture? Isn't that just strange? So, I mean, what the heck is that? Like a huge satellite blimp or something? What is going on there? And moving from here, this area, and right here, isn't this interesting how here's the fire station and stuff like that. None of it burnt. The police station, you got the police station, the fire department, district court, civic center. Yeah, perfectly okay. But yet you lost all these people. And this white ash, it's awfully white. I mean, that burnt super hot. Of all these places, does that look like maybe that's where it started? Was at this place? And I don't think there were any power lines there. Who knows? There might be. If you go look now, you won't see them. Let's go look. So here's power lines, but those aren't transistors, are they? Maybe they are. I'll leave this link too. It's interesting. Common causes of electrical fires: down power lines, conductor slap, equipment failure. Here's a 2007 San Diego wildfires attributed to utility companies. There's your witch fire. Witch and rice fires scorched 207,000 acres, destroying, just the numbers are interesting, killed 2 people. San Diego County, and here it says investigators determined that fires broke out when San Diego Gas and Electric, my favorite people lately, flying over the water reservoirs on the 8th of August. Power lines and Cox communication cables. They're another one of my least favorite people. Ignited vegetation that hadn't been properly cleared. I wonder what their fine was. SDG&E never admitted liability, but they did agree to pay more than $2 billion in settlements. Now, and here you go, Cox Communication agrees to pay $444 million. If I wasn't guilty of something, I sure the heck wouldn't pay anything. If I didn't do it, why would I have to pay? San Diego Gas and Electric never admitted liability, but they paid more than $2 billion in settlements. How come I never heard that before? Anyhow, there's your 444 also. And remember them, PG&E. They're all still up and running though, and making profits, aren't they? And charging you up the yin yang for your electricity. Yep. But I just find it sort of interesting. A little strange, actually. This is right off of Wahikuli Road. So here's Front Street right here. I went up a little bit north here, away from the fire. There's a fire hot spot here though. And then look at this, Sugar Cane Train Railroad Yard. The sewage treatment plant. Anyhow, the sugarcane train. And the reason why I was looking at the sugarcane train is because that's where the that is where I saw some of that fencing. There's your number 5. But there's the sugarcane train, and guess what? Sugarcane. There's the anagram for sugarcane. It's carnage us. And remember, they could not get through the gates at the sugarcane plantations. The gates were locked. And this person who owns the train, Hawaii Travel Fund, but I went to this and it said that this, it said this, nothing to show here. And yet this is what they actually showed. Every time I tapped on it, I got this image of the cyclist with this serpent on his left arm. Hawaiian lady, you got the eagle, and you've got this anchor, the anchor belt that I also showed with the Navy SEAL Foundation had part of an anchor. And on his arm, does that say kill? Right there? What's that say? It looks like it says kill or kills. Looks like a skull. But I looked at that LK and PRR. There's the numerology. Book of the Dead is $2.95. Okay, so I'm skipping around, sorry, because now it's the September 8th. So I'm back to the sugarcane train, and when I looked at the anagram being sugar incarnate, there's the word sugar. It's got the number 66 to it, 66, and the word incarnate, especially by deity or spirit embodied in flesh in human form, and the English and simple gematria. Here's the word corona. It's 396 and 66. Corona and sugar have the same simple and English gematria. And here, 5 hours ago, we've got the governor delivers speech as Hawaii marks 1 month since Lahaina disasters. Here's the governor. Green says 66 people remain unaccounted for. I'm sure there's a lot more than that, because there was 2,000 children they still haven't accounted for. So go figure. But imagine green here with the number 66. This is your Hawaii News Now as a New World Order. And 66 is corona and is sugar, and the sugar cane train, which was in Maui, is sugar incarnate. So corona is like a human deity. Some of the numerology that matches it is Gates, IBM, Test, the Dragon, Pineapple is in maybe the Pineapple Express. 9-4 is also Jeff Bezos and American Eagle. It's Divine Gene and Microchip. Now this is Craig Hill's place. Here it is right here, the Maui Land and Pineapple. This place, he has 2 companies that are under the same address. It's also the same numerology, also Skynet, Resonance, 6-9, Testing, New Earth, Columbine, and Modern Era. Is also shaded with that LK and PRR that I did the gematria for. And Craig Hill owns a company called Forever Maui. He also owns this train little company. Forever Maui is over firm, and over, it means work, and we're coming up on Labor Day. And a fire over 'em. I thought that was weird. But this is these are his companies, Forever Maui and Maui Concierge Services, which has that train. They're both at the same address, 700 Village Road in Lahaina. He shut it down. He did renovate it, but then in 2019, guess what happened? Businesses all had to shut down. That hasn't been open since. This article written November 6, 2014, efforts to restore sugarcane train underway. Now that Craig Hill, has acquired the sugarcane train, he plans to coordinate efforts that include extensive renovations. He hopes to have the sugarcane train back in service in the several months. He plans to continue to work with the local group of volunteers who helped spearhead public efforts to resurrect the sugarcane train as a way to involve the community in a shared vision of success in this endeavor. They, along with State Rep Angus McKelvey, because he's so ethical, and Iolani Kanoiho, I don't know how you say that, operations manager of the sugarcane train, were unwavering in their desire to save this landmark attraction for West Maui. Stepping in to save the train has been personally rewarding for Hill. He says, I'm very grateful to be able to give back to a community that has been so good to me. I've been fortunate to live in West Maui for so long and happy to try and help preserve any part of its rich cultural heritage, he concluded. Okay, so the Air Force Maui Optical and Supercomputing AMOS. The first facility is the Maui Space Surveillance System. The second is the Maui High Performance Computing Center. An active program to advance the state-of-the-art in infrared technology. So devices can aim infrared laser light at an object and measure the electromagnetic radiation emitted from object's surface. And my question was, can an infrared laser start a fire? The answer was modern lasers with power that is high enough to start any kind of fire operate in the infrared, and so cannot be seen by the naked eye. Now here's a November 8th, 2022 post by Angus McKelvey, November 8th, 2022. And this is showing a fire in Maui. And he writes, the following 4 campuses in West Maui will be closed tomorrow, November 9th, due to a brush fire in the area, and evacuations of residents are underway. So again, they close the schools. Someone even writes, someone forcing Hawaiians out, maybe like see them on Front Street. Again, November 8th, that's 11/8/2022. And here are the fires. And this is Angus McKelvey. He's state representative at State of Hawaii Legislature, Honolulu County, Hawaii. Interesting, 77 followers. Born in the islands, Angus McKelvey was raised in West Maui and has lived and worked in Lahaina for almost his entire life. The McKelveys have a long history of community service on West Side. His mother, Joan McKelvey, along with Anthony Vera, fought successfully to rebuild Sacred Hearts School after it burned down in the early 70s. His father, Mac McKelvey, built the sugar cane train and helped to develop the Kanapali resort area. He's a member of the following committees: Agriculture, Consumer Protection and Commerce, Interim Task Force on Smart Growth. So he has an interest in the smart growth for smart cities. SHF, Joint Task Force to conduct a review of State Highway Fund, Judiciary, Tourism, Culture, International Affairs, but FSG, Interim Task Force on Smart Growth. So he's running for Senate. This was in October of 2018. So he failed to report contributions. He was the state representative of District 10, that includes West Maui, pled no contest today in district court for failing to file a complete and accurate candidate committee report and allowing an unauthorized person to receive and disperse campaign funds. This was November 6th of 2015. So he's basically working with the agrochemical industry because he killed a bill regarding food safety, and anyhow, they ousted him, I guess. He was booted from chairmanship. I'll leave this link too. This was in March 13th, 2017. It's just getting better, isn't it? So he was also accused of allowing his mother to receive and spend campaign money, which is illegal because she's not an official with the campaign. So he received about $33,000 of contributions to his campaign, and he did not report it. So all three of these guys, Richard Fail, Angus McKelvey, and James Tokioka, all had to amend their reports because they initially reported that they didn't get contributions, or they underreported their contributions. So who's contributing to them? This report says usually allegations like these lead to civil fines, but because they involved incumbents, sources said the commission believed the violations are intentional and warranted a criminal referral. This is the criminal penalties for filing a false campaign report are serious. Anyone found guilty could face up to 5 years in jail and could be banned from seeking office for 4 years. Doesn't look like he did any jail time though. And this is an interesting article. I'll leave this to you. It says Maui Senator Angus McKelvey, chair of the Government Operations Committee, will oversee the fate of a key public records bill. And it says the committee includes Rhodes, that's another member, who would seem the more appropriate Senate chair rather than McKelvey given the subject matter. But hey, who's connecting the dots? So he was overseeing this bill, HB 719, relating to public records, commission to improve standard of conduct, public records, cost disclosure, public interest waiver, Office of Information Practices, positions and appropriations. Interesting that they give this over to the guy who made finance violations, campaign finance violations. And all this activity was April, almost May 2023. I'll leave this link too. So I wonder who's funding him. This is a March 13th, 2017, 7-Eleven, Honolulu, Hawaii. Maui Rep. Angus McKelvey had been removed as chairman of the powerful House Consumer Protection Committee just days after a House bill to regulate pesticide use was killed in the chamber. So they don't want to control who uses pesticides or how they're used. This says the Consumer Protection Committee is considered the third most powerful committee in the state house after the Finance and Judiciary Committee. It often deals with sensitive and controversial legislation. Yeah, because big people like Monsanto and Bayer are part of it. The pesticide bill proposed buffer zones around fields where pesticides are sprayed and disclosure of pesticide use, a measure opposed by the seed crop industry. You know who that's part of? That's Monsanto, Bayer, even Gates is part of that. The state Senate has passed similar legislation, so the issue will come back to the House. After the vote, no members would comment on the record. This is McKelvey apparently left the state capitol building and was not on the House floor for the vote, and afterwards his office was locked. So this is interesting. Think Tech, Hawaii's Global Future. This is July 27th, 2014. So developing our technology economy with Robbie Melton, who was interviewed by Angus McKelvey about emerging technologies in Hawaii. So he is interested in the technologies, high technology development. So here's the website, thinktechhawaii.com, developing our technology economy with Robbie Melton, and the host is Angus McKelvey. Interesting, look at his eyes shifting back and forth. Look at that. Wow. So he's talking about the high technology corporations. He obviously likes or he's interested in that. But look at his eyes though. He's talking about facing our future in Hawaii and talking about technology and innovation. Oh, I guess he's reading. And here is who he's interviewing. Executive Director and CEO, High Technology Development Corp. Is Robbie Melton, high tech. She's talking about agro-technology, space, software, app development, everything. Okay. So she's talking about everything going digital. That's all digital, she said. So this is all about the smart thing. And she just mentioned that even how clothing is made, there's new technology in the clothing, and I think we know that they've got a material too that can track you, and that also comes from China. So here he is, October 10th, 2016, and I just noticed this, that cross. I'm just wondering, that's an iron cross. It was a military decoration in the Kingdom of Prussia and later in the German Empire and Nazi Germany. The design, a black cross pate with a white or silver outline, was derived from the insignia of the medieval Teutonic Order and worn by its knights from the 13th century. And here are pictures of an iron cross. But maybe I'm mistaken. So July 14th, he posts this image. I don't even know what that means, but it's interesting. It's kind of dark. Here's August 12th. Just a couple days after the fire of August 8th. Battling all day, power back on Hanokawi segment now. He said cows, also 4 cows arriving in Lahaina by the end of the day today for commercial use. So cows they're called cows, so cells on wheels, so people can get Wi-Fi, so everyone can be connected again. Here's another image. So cell on wheels, temporary Verizon cell phone tower, used for emergencies. This was used in the 2018 Spring Creek fire in Colorado. So cell on wheels, cow or site on wheels are telecom infrastructures placed on trailer approved for road use. Anyhow, the mobile radio stations guarantee full operation in just 1 day and in restricted spaces. That's interesting they have that, but yet they insist on having satellites. Why do you need satellites if you have cows? So the backhaul to the network can be via terrestrial microwave communication, satellite, or existing wired infrastructure. Interesting, that word backhaul. Klaus Schwab, who's father of the World Economic Forum, is his anagram is SSW backhaul. And there's SSW Advanced Technologies, an innovative technology solutions partner. SSW Advanced Technologies is a partner with global scale and hometown support. So this article, sugarcane train slated to shut down on Friday. This was a July 31st, 2014 article. The Lahaina, Kanapali, and Pacific Railroads, so the LKPR, is slated to close on Friday, August 1st. Meetings with prospective buyers will be held this week. So they basically closed it, they said. Basically, in the end, everything comes down to financial. And then they talk about to 88-year-old Joan McKelvey. It's a tender recollection of her husband, A.W. Mac McKelvey, 1914 to 1945, founder of the LKPRR in 1969. So here you got 88 years old. There's your 88. Moved to 2023, August 8th, as the fire in Maui happened. So it talks about to West and South Maui rep Angus, that's who we were talking about, Angus McKelvey. The train is a poignant first memory. One of the steam engines is named after him. Obviously, the Golden Spike was a very fleeting memory because I was very young, but I do remember, because of the color and sound, it made an impression on me. So we've got these tracks. We've got the Red Hill Tunnel tracks and tunnels. And in the burn area of Lahaina, we've got the Red Hill doors. And we've got the little Boring Company's best video game ever. So isn't this interesting? I'm looking up this word because of the code involved, but this is the ad I get. Isn't that great? So you're searching for a word and that's what pops up. So the best video game ever is Beaver Edge Motives, and the word beaver equals 318 and 53. We've seen the number 53 come up, right? 5 plus 3 is 8, and that whole red flag thing, 23-3, equals 53 and 53. That's 88. That's the day Maui burned. So this is where I came up with beaver, because it's the same numerology as COVID. And then when you search the word edge, Microsoft Edge comes in, and I think we all know about who runs a little Microsoft thing, the Bill Gates, who is a total eugenist, who has talked about the depopulation. And here they call the platforms as a fork. And you know how they are all about the eating and consuming. It just doesn't stop. Putting 2 and 2 together, and you've got people who are involved or who are interested in the smart tech type of thing, sitting there with a big pig, razorback, sow, Operation Warp Speed, OWS. Alright, and you have all this technology that can connect people.